Hi Daniel, you okay?
Yes.
The whole season comes down to Sunday, so much anticipation. Can you just give us a feel for the mood around the camp this week going into this game?
Yes, pretty focused, concentrated. We know it's a massive game and also a decisive game. It's a final, and for that, obviously, you're always even a bit more focused and concentrate on such a game. It's also important to stay calm and to find a good balance. It's just football, so we have to concentrate on the content. Obviously, we are highly motivated, exactly like our opponent as well, but we're all looking forward to have this game, and it's a massive chance. It's a 50-50 game. Anything can happen, and this means also a great chance, perhaps even to promote back to the Premier League in the first time of asking. And for that, we are really excited, but also concentrated and focused on the contents.
Can you update us on the team news? Patrick Bamford, will he make it?
No, Patrick is not available. Won't be there for the game. He will definitely miss out. Yes, we had some minor issues during this week, but I think it seems like each and every player will be available. Also, Sam Byram, after his injury in the last game, returned back to team training yesterday. It was the first time that he trained with the whole team. If his body doesn't show any reaction, then he will also be available for this game. So, apart from our long-term injuries, obviously with Pascal Stoic, and obviously we had the topic with Stuart Dallas, and apart from Patrick Bamford, all the others are available.
A lot of focus going into this game on the two managers. Russell Martin, you worked with him at Norwich. Obviously, he left the club. Is that something you've addressed since, and is there a lot of mutual respect between the pair of you?
Yes, I was quite blessed when I had him in Norwich. He was my captain, and for me it was more or less my first steps in English football as a pretty young in this league unexperienced coach, and Russell was more like in his later stages of his career. He was a club captain, and especially in the first weeks. Got also a lot of information because of him. I was quite pleased, and even during this time, you could tell that once he would become a manager, because obviously he was then more or less in his later stages of his career, but he judged also the games and everything what happens around the pitch and in the dressing room more or less already in the eyes with the eyes of a manager. And I was quite sure that he would do a really good job in this business as manager, because he was also desperate to do this one day, and also. Yeah, as a captain, he was also a leader of men, and how you interacted with the group and led the group. So I sensed many skills that are also important if you want to lead a group as a manager. And for me, even from the first days, there was no doubt that after his playing career, he would become a manager. And I was also quite sure, because he knows this football. He's a great person, that he would be also great in this role. And right now he's proving me right. So for that, yes, we have our experience, and from Norwich, that's right.
Thank you. Good luck Sunday.
Thank you very much.
Daniel, we've had the team news then. So, with you having played so well last time without Patrick Bamford, is the temptation to stick with what you have and what you did against Norwich, or do Southampton pose particular problems where you might need to change?
Yes, first of all, I would have preferred to have Patrick available, because last time when he was not available and we were facing Southampton, we also didn't win this game. So for that, I would have preferred if he would have been available. But it's also important right now, to face the reality, and the reality is that he is not there, and for that, it's up to us to find some other solutions. Yes, and I trust my whole group, and I trust my whole squad, and for that there are no complaint or searching for excuses. We go with what we've got, and we've got many good options. I won't speak about the starting lineup right now, but it was also important during the playoffs. No worries. During the playoffs, also to find our rhythm back, and also our especially with the second game against Norwich, we returned back to more or less our best shape, and want to show this also on Sunday.
Can any team live with you if you repeat that performance?
Yes, of course, because we are not the only top team in this championship. Leicester has proved, and also Ipswich has proved, and also Southampton in the games against us have proved that you have to be spot on, and you have to be there with your best possible performance if you want to win against a team of this caliber. So obviously we are also concentrated on ourselves, and we know that we have strengths who can hurt each and every opponent. And if we are at our best, then it's also difficult to beat us. And this is what we want to make sure that we are there with our best. But even then in football, it's also important to grab yourself your deserved reward. And the first thing is we have to make sure that we are there with a really good performance, and then also in the decisive moments, also to force a bit the momentum, that the luck is also a bit on our side. You always need a bit of a little bit of good fortune also in this game, and there's never a guarantee to win a game of football. But the first and major step is already there to be there with a good performance, and this is what we want to deliver.
I know it was different circumstances, Daniel, when you played Southampton. You know, when you look at the last game of the season, the one earlier on. But what is it about them that's proved to be so strong, in your opinion? What is it about Russell's coaching that's been particularly good?
Well, it definitely was and is one of the best sides in the championship. They have many experienced players. They have with Russell, meanwhile, also an experienced and really classy coach. Also, the club is not nervous. I have to be honest, in the last 2 decades, they've spent more time in the Premier League than we were allowed to spend there. So it's also an experienced club, and for that, especially the quality of the players is for this level on a really good level. And it's difficult to beat them. This was proven also in the first 2 games, and it will be also difficult to beat them in this final. So we have to be at our best in order to give ourselves a chance, but. We are also strong, and we know that we also have a really good side, and especially in the spotlight games so far during the season, we're always able to deliver not just good performances but also good results. We've played Leicester 2 times, we've won 2 times. We've played Ipswich 2 times, we've won 2 times. Obviously, would have also preferred perhaps to win the 6 points against Southampton. Then we would be there already with automatic promotion, but you can't choose. So for that, we know we have to be at our best on this weekend, and we want to do this.
How much has that performance against Norwich helped you, if you like, deal with the responsibility of what's ahead with you on Sunday? Have you embraced it and harnessed it?
Yes, there's no replacement for this winning feeling in the dressing room after win, and also not in the stadium, obviously. So it was a big boost for the confidence, and also for our rhythm after a bit difficult run in, also due to some injuries. Also, it was important that especially some of my injured players after the last international break found their confidence and the rhythm back in the last weeks. It's always good. Sadly, it won't help that much in tactical terms, because Southampton will be a different challenge in comparison to Norwich. But we know that we are back in really good shape, and this helps definitely with the confidence and with the belief to go into this game. And we definitely need to play with courage and also with self-belief and with confidence to give ourselves a chance.
Daniel, do you believe most of the work's done now, or will you have something prepared just before kick-off, just final words or what have you for the lads?
Most of the work, yes, but it's not done yet. So we have also tomorrow an important training session. Also, we have to prepare a little bit more, like with the last informations and also work a bit more on our game against the ball and with the ball, also on a few details. And these details can make a big difference in the end of the day, because quite often 1 or 2% are decisive if you win or lose a game. So it will be also important still to be focused, to be there with good habits, good nutrition, good preparation, good final session. Because we want to be there in a top class shape, and for that we also need to make sure that the last 48 hours are also on the top level.
And finally, Daniel, your face is all over the Trinity Centre in Leeds. What do you make of that? How does that make you feel?
Thank God I haven't seen it so far. So because I don't like to watch my face too much, but the most important topic is this players are in the spotlight. So I really truly believe it's a players' game. It's not like chess between the coaches. I'm there to help my players, so there should be the faces of Georgie Rutter and Chris Summerwell and Joel Pirot and Ilan Melier. So that's more important. I'm too old to show my face too much. Meanwhile, so it's more important that I'm there to help my lads, and hopefully they can be in the spotlight again on Sunday, and hopefully I can help a bit to make them shine. Wish you all the best. Thank you very much.
I spoke to Glenn Kamara this week, and he said that nothing had changed in terms of you and training this week. How difficult is that to not let the size of the game come through in your behaviour and in your words?
Would have been a bit more difficult perhaps in my early coaching ages, in the first steps of a career. Then you have a bit the tendency to overdo things or to be too excited. Meanwhile, you have more or less experienced nearly each and every thing. Also big games in sold-out stadiums. Was never in Wembley before, so it's even for me the first time in Wembley in the playoff final. But yes, it's also no major news that there are spotlight games or sold-out stadiums or excited home crowd and pressure on the games. So for that, I think it's important, especially once you want to lead a young group, to show this leadership and to show also like what is capable, and also to be there with the right choices. There's also nothing wrong with doing sometimes also something a bit special, but it's also important to send the messages. Okay, we just have to be focused on ourselves and what we're doing, and believe also in what we're doing, instead of trying to pretend right now something that we are not in this game. It's not like we will try to do something completely different to what we've done in the 48 games before in this league, and also in the 2 playoff games. So for that, I think it's important to find a good balance between being highly motivated, and I am highly motivated, and also focused, but also to keep going. It's still allowed to be with a smile on your face to work. So to find this balance, I think, is quite crucial.
I know the last day of the season was different because you had to go for it. It was a slightly different plan. But how do you convince a young team that the plan, as it has been all season, is enough to beat a team that you haven't beaten yet?
That's my job, that my players believe in our plan and also in our approach. So the most important topic is always like to deliver quality on the training pitch, when we are in the meeting room, when you speak about the things that you want to do. So it's important to analyze the opponent well, also like to speak about what is important, and then also to work on it, and to do this methodically and also in the way you work. That in a proper way, and hopefully with a good quality, and also to reach the hearts and the souls of the players. And we see on the pitch if it works or not, and then you still need a bit of luck. Obviously with a bit more experience, and the longer you are in this business, the more you got the feeling what is necessary. But it's always a demanding job, and a big challenge. Each and every week is difficult and challenging, and you can't allow yourself to be one day not switched on, or to go into work with 1% less prepared. You always have to be there and to lead by example, and to prepare the players in the perfect way without overloading them. It's always difficult, but this is what you have to do in this job. If my job would be easy, anyone could do this. And obviously I want to be there with the best possible week in order to prepare them, and then hopefully we have a chance on Sunday.
Hi Daniel, how will you look to manage the nerves maybe on Sunday morning? Will you get the chance to go to Wembley whilst it's quiet and nobody else is there, to get a look at the surroundings, if you like?
Rituals are always good, and for that we will stick to our rituals or our normal processes, so we won't change too much with the time shift. And what we do the day before the game and also on the game day. We have done it also several times, that in the morning of the game we go for a walk sometimes even in the opponent's stadium. Perhaps if there is a chance to do this at Wembley, because we're not too far away, perhaps we do this as well. We have not decided yet so far. So for that, it will be quite a normal preparation. So nothing too special, because I want us also to concentrate on our content and not to be distracted or overexcited by changing our habits too much.
Your defence this season has done brilliantly, hasn't it? And with the goals conceded that you've managed, how important will that be on Sunday, do you feel, in bending without breaking, if you like, when Southampton are throwing everything at you?
Yes, always crucial, especially against the side with Southampton, with so many attacking threats and also attacking threats who are more or less, you can label them really also like Premier League quality. If we want to earn the right to be allowed to play in the Premier League, we have to make sure that we handle also the Premier League quality of Southampton's offense. And we're highly motivated and also fully convinced that we are capable to do this. So we were there with most clean sheets in the whole league. yes, in the last games were perhaps not spot on in this terms. For that, it was also good for our confidence and our rhythm to return back, especially again to Norwich games, to our best defensive behavior. So 2 clean sheets in a row is also good for the confidence and the belief. And this is definitely one of the key topics to be there. Also with our best possible defensive behavior. Yeah, the best solution is always to have the ball, because once you have the ball and you're not there with one own goal after another, you can't concede. So to be good in possession is also quite important. We want to have as many spells as possible when we dominate possession, but also when it's necessary to control the game against the ball. This is definitely one of the key and decisive areas that we need to bring on Sunday.
Hi Daniel, you obviously had your success at Lipstad early on in your career, your 2 title successes at Norwich. Obviously, the challenge when you came here was massive given where the club was with all the upheaval. If you were to do it on Sunday and go up, would it be the greatest achievement potentially of your managerial career so far?
I'm impressed that you know about my early stages in Germany. Lippstadt, wow.
Research.
I nearly forgot it. I'm too old to remember it, meanwhile. So each and every experience really helps. And I was there involved a few times also in the title race. And even there, the processes that a title race, also to play a final, are more or less the same. If you do it on a lower level in here, League 1, League 2, or if you do it on Premier League level or in a Champions League final, it's more or less always the same for a team, and even the experience on a lower level sometimes helps. I don't like to compare some achievements too much, because it would be not respectful to perhaps my earlier stage in the career in Norwich or Borussia Dortmund or Borussia Mönchengladbach, or like you mentioned Lippstadt. So for that, I don't like to compare too much, but let's talk about it after the game. If we really have done this, then we are allowed also to speak about our achievements before we speak and judge how important it is and valuable. And then first we have to make sure that we really achieve it. Otherwise, it would then not look that great if you do it before. So I rather like to praise us once we really have achieved something. So if you want to ask me the question again on Sunday, I will definitely answer it in a positive way once we are hopefully successful. But thanks a lot again to remind me to some really great times in Lippstadt. Thank you very much.
I think when you came here, Daniel, you were saying that you had like a desire to get back to the Premier League and like manage test yourself again after the way it ended at Norwich, maybe a bit of like unfinished business. Do you feel where this club is at now with the ownership and all the young talent that you've nurtured, like Archie, Somerville, Nonto, do you feel like the club's ready for the Premier League potentially?
I signed a contract because I was full of belief that this club and this supporters and the whole community belongs into the Premier League. So I fully believe in this potential, and I'm so highly motivated to bring this club there as quick as possible. And believe me, no one is more motivated than me, because I mentioned it, even once I signed the contract, I wouldn't have signed for any other club on this level anymore, because I don't judge my time at Norwich as unfinished business, because once I left this club, once I overtook this club, it was more like a bit difficult place. We're under unbelievable financial pressure somewhere in the mid-table in the championship, and once I left it, there was no financial pressure at all anymore. There was a new training center, and they were playing in the Premier League. So I don't judge my time there as unfinished finished business. And once I left here in England, I was manager in the Premier League, and last season I was manager in the Bundesliga, also for a big club over there. We finished the mid-table, and my aim is also to work on the top level. And for that, I also want to work on Premier League level, because for me it's the best league in the world, and this is also my big motivation to work there again, and to work with an exciting club who is also very special in different ways, and does it also the own way. If it would be easy, then it's not my job. So I always like challenges, and I always like something where you can create something special. I'm not too, and I was never too attracted by being whatever the 147th coach who wins the 347th title for a club. I want to create something special and if possible also to create a bit of legacy. And I know, so there are some coaching legends here for Leeds United. We all know the names. I'm far away of being allowed to compare me with them, but hopefully in a few years, once we can really bring the club back to the Premier League and establish this club also on this level. Yes, I can also be proud a bit that I played also a little part in the history perhaps of this club. But before, the first step is to make sure that we return back to the Premier League. Of course, I was hoping that it would work as quickly as possible, but I mentioned it also several times. So if you would have asked me in September, I would have said, we need a little miracle to return back on the first time of asking. Right now we have a chance. It's a 50-50 chance. We just need to win one game, but just need to win one game against such a strong opponent is also difficult. And we are highly motivated and want to go the final step in order to bring this club perhaps even already back right now. And this is why we are so highly motivated. And this is what we want to achieve.
Daniel, since the last Southampton game, you've had, by Championship standards, an unusual amount of time to prepare for these games. Have you noticed the focus levels of the players go up another level since you've come into playoff football?
Yes, playoff football is always something special because it's a do-or-die game. So you can't repair any mistakes and you have to be spot on. It's not like in the league games when you have 46 games and sometimes you have also a difficult spell and you can repair it perhaps with some other good results. So in this more or less cup games, you have to be spot on, and obviously then the focus is also pretty special, and also the concentration level is very high. You have to make sure that the players are not over motivated and not overly nervous. That's also quite important. But I also quite liked that we had a bit time to prepare. Obviously, after a win like Norwich, normally you want to play the next game also, 3 or 4 days later, because you want to keep this good feeling. But on the other hand, I also quite like that we had a bit time to prepare and to work with the players, because even during the season we were always at our best when we had more or less time to prepare for the next opponent and to work on our habits and our contents and our principles. And for that, as a manager, I was quite happy that we had a bit time in order to prepare my team in a proper way. The only negative aspect that also the opposites manager has the time to do this. So for that, we take it like it is, and we got the feeling we are prepared.
When you came to this club, Daniel, you had a striker in Jorginho Russo, had a really difficult first 6 months here. What did you do to help him to show his best side?
Yes, in the beginning there was communication was quite important. I also listened to what he said. That's quite important. Sometimes you got the feeling, okay, I have to give message after message after message. Sometimes it's also important to let the player speak and also to listen and to get a feeling for what the problem is. I think this was key. Yes, then also to work with him and also to communicate about finding good solutions and to sell your plan and your ideas to the players. And then it's not so much about talking, then it's more like about acting. Then it's more like how you work with the players and how you interact with them on the training pitch and during the games. And it then comes down to hard work. And I would never praise myself for developing a player. I will always, even with younger players, I will always praise the players, because what we can do is we can work with them, we can bring them close to the door and try to develop them and try to help them, but they have to make the step through the door. So they have to take on all this good advice and also to take the messages into account. And once a player like Georgie, who had a difficult start to life out of many reasons, develops then in this way, and it also perhaps some bit more challenging spells also during this season, especially due to injuries, but overall he has played a fantastic season. Then you have to say, so all credit goes to him and he deserves all the praise, and hopefully he can deliver this also, yes, in one more game.
What will be your last message to the players before they go out? Are you big on process and tactics in the final moments, or a motivational speaker?
quite often I decided spontaneous, I have to say. So it's more or less when we prepare for a game, we are really a bit addicted to prepare them in different ways, also in different scenarios. I always have to calm myself down, not to overload them, and also to make it too complicated. But especially in the preparation, it's important to work really pretty analytical and also to work on the tactical terms. In the moments and minutes before the game, quite often I attempt then to just more like remind that the key topics are also the basics in football. You can shift in a perfect way, and you can have a perfect tactical structure, and you can even double an opponent. Yeah, but if the opponent is then capable to beat them, then all the wonderful tactical structure doesn't help. So you need also the skills. Why we all just once started to play football, that we are competitive and want to have the ball and want to win our duels. So short reminder, and also sometimes a motivational reminder, is quite often the last message. But I quite often decided also spontaneous, a bit like always when you got the gut feeling on what the players need. But quite often the last words are a bit more emotional instead of another tactical hint.
Hi, Daniel. With your portrait in the shopping centre and school children singing songs and fans sending messages, what does it mean to have the whole city behind the squad ahead of this big final?
Many questions to pictures of myself in a shopping centre. So really, I would have perhaps distracted by this in my early stages of the careers, because once you work a bit longer in this business, in my job, in my chair, there are just two options. Either they want to build a statue and put some pictures in the shopping center, or they throw some rotten tomatoes. So there's nothing in between. So either you're a superstar or a clown, and you have to make sure that you're not too driven by this emotions and by this judgment, and stay exactly what you are. So I'm never dancing on the table just if someone praises me. I'm also not too down if one or two persons, or when it's our supporters, and obviously also when our supporters are even a few more don't like what we did in terms, because you always have to do what you're convinced of. So I'm quite focused on my job, but for all players it's quite important, because I'm an old man. Meanwhile, my players are young men. They're nearly, some of them are still like kids, and they're 18, 19, 20 years old when we speak about Archie Gray, Willy Gnonto, Georgie Rutter, Chris Summerwell, all the others. It's important that they know they have the backing, and they know they have the trust, and they know they have also a whole city, a whole community, a whole fan base who is there for them, not just when they're scoring goals, but also once they go through a difficult spell. We spoke about we need to have and we want to invite everyone to be a believer here in Leeds United and create this atmosphere. And I'm so grateful that also our supporters have shown this in the recent weeks. So some of you guys have mentioned, so the atmosphere at Elland Road in the last game against Norwich was more or less second to none. So even some of the journalists who come here since decades said we have never experienced such an atmosphere, and the players feel this as well. And for example, after our last game against Southampton, the positivity then to send us really was backing into the playoffs played also a huge part, that we were then there back to our best in the games, and we need this backing, and for that I'm pretty grateful for this. Not for myself, because my pictures in the shopping center more for my players, and I hope there is a white wall also heading to London and to overtake a bit the capital, and to make sure that it's a pretty white flags and white colors in London, to make sure that you also see this white colors at Wembley, and then hopefully we can use it also for positive energy, for rewarding them also with a brilliant result.
Daniel, hi. I don't want to tempt fate, and it's a bit of a cliched question, but have the players been practicing penalties, because there's so little to choose between these two teams?
We're prepared for everything.
Perfect. We're just going to move on.